Hey folks, welcome back to This is ADHD. As ever, I'm your host, Chris Johnson. When I am pretending, or when I'm not pretending to be a podcaster, I am a personal change coach, ADHDer, and a people leader in data and technology. I started this podcast as when I was diagnosed with ADHD, it felt like no one else had this disorder, and that feeling of overwhelm of being alone had me reeling post-diagnosis. In this podcast, I talk to people like you and me about what it means to be ADHD and how it shows up for them. I want to challenge and demystify the stereotypes that people have about ADHD and show that whilst ADHD has a profound impact in our lives, that we are all different and that one person's version of ADHD is just that. It's one person. Today's episode is a bit different from the first two, and I'm really interested to see if this works. Today I'm going to be joined by Thomas Woodhams, and we're going to be talking about the 10 things that we hate about ADHD. In this episode, we look at challenges, triumphs, and everything in between. Thomas is super open and honest about his personal journey with ADHD, discussing things with his relationships, with work, and the ongoing kind of challenge with alcohol and addiction within the ADHD community. We also kind of look at time management, boundaries, impulsive buying. We go everywhere with this episode, and I hope it kind of interests people and shows people what ADHD really looks like. And I think it's also important to say that we're not just going to focus on the negative, even though it's the 10 things that we hate. We're also going to be talking about tips and about not only how Thomas gets through life, but also is very successful and still has ADHD as well. And it's about that thing of saying ADHD is just one facet of Thomas's life. So this podcast is for you if you have ADHD, if you know someone who has ADHD, or you just want to get a better understanding of what ADHD is and how it impacts others. I do want to say these episodes never stay shallow. We don't really do small talk. We're going to be touching on some serious subjects. We're going to be touching on lots of different things. Yeah, I think there's quite a few laughs. I think there's a few tears. I think there's quite a lot that's relatable in this episode. I had a lot of fun recording this. So yeah, please go ahead and enjoy it. Right, let's get it on. Again, this is ADHD. This is one person's experience. Thank you so much for listening. And yeah, let me know how this format works. Today, I'm joined by Thomas Woodhams. He's tech recruiter, LinkedIn creator, and fellow ADHDer. Hi, Thomas. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me, Chris. Do appreciate it.
No worries, no worries. So today we're going to be talking about the 10 things we hate about ADHD. And not sure if we're going to get to 10. We're going to just keep going and see how the chat goes. And the first question that I ask everyone, Thomas, is how does your ADHD show up for you?
It's a really good question. How does it show up for me? I think being on ADHD tablets, I've been medicated for nearly 4.5 years now. I'm on Concerta, 54 milligrams. But I think over the period of time and the years that I've sort of taken the tablets, I've had to sort of learn how to sort of learn about myself and work what works for me and what doesn't. I think I'm still on that journey. But how does it turn up for me? I think it turns up for me when I need it to turn up, and going through that journey of working out what triggers me and what things to look out for or not to look out for. It's definitely been a learning curve. So when it turns up for me and everything's in the right sort of eggs in one basket, shall we say, or sorry, what I will say is the ducks aligned in a row. It basically promotes me as a Ferrari brain, hyper focus, organized, creative, resilient, problem solving. And that is all. If it wasn't for the medication that I do take, I probably would be in a different sort of situation, or wouldn't be able to talk from that sort of more positive light.
Are there any challenges that come with being an ADHD in the recruitment and creator business?
Definitely. And to be fair, like, I'm not saying ADHD is amazing all the time or 24/7, but the challenges that I still do face, even with being on medication, is definitely addictive personality, or addictive tendencies, and one being LinkedIn. It does consume a lot of my time consistently creating content on a daily basis, sometimes 1 or twice a day that I'm posting. That will then take that over in the evening as well. So that'll be sometimes affecting my relationship because I am consistently on LinkedIn, and my fiance Michelle knows that I'm on LinkedIn because she's like, I'm sort of zoning out on the sofa thinking about it, what I'm going to post tomorrow, what's going to be the next sort of, well, I'm going to get her to take funny photos of me so then I can do a post. The other challenges, I think, is being unaware of certain situations. I break on my medication on Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays, and then retake my medication on a Monday. I class the medication as mainly like my reading glasses, to help me through the week, to help me see. That's kind of my analogy over the medication. But yeah, the sort of challenges are still there with regards to the ADHD, but they're more refined, and I don't notice them as much. But when
ADHD challenge you in your role?
It's a good question. I think it challenges me with regards to consistently coming up with creative ideas. I think that work. There is a point where obviously with recruitment you're doing the same thing day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. And it does suddenly, like, I might absolutely smash it for 6 months, and then suddenly I might not smash it, and then suddenly I start worrying. Am I good enough, or can I still do this job? But yeah, with the tablets it has helped massively. But I don't take my tablets on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because I actually want to have a break from the medication. But I have noticed that when I don't take it on the Friday, my ADHD does come back nearly 100 times worse on the weekend. So that's easily distracted, very hyperactive, wet towels on the floor, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's probably the sort of main challenges. And it's just I think not breaking for me as well. When I'm at work, I'm like plugged into the matrix. It's that hyper focus where if my fiance is asking me if I want like lunch,
yeah,
I'm sort of getting a bit annoyed for her to even ask me, because I'm so zoned in the zone, and I'm not going to be distracted. Like, I'm just plugged in. I think that's probably the sort of main challenges. Yeah, it's the usual, to easily distracted, but the medication has helped that. It's tuned me up to be probably at that level where I can sort of be at high performance all quite a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of dirty side, isn't it, of the hyper focus, of the superpower of saying, I get to focus, I get to be really creative, I get to just hammer out 2 months of content in a single afternoon because, yeah, I'm really feeling it, blah, 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 blah. But you asked me to do something I'm completely derailed, and I'm not liking you, even though like you're one of the most important people in my life. No, you've interrupted me. How dare you? How dare you?
I know. It's sometimes really hard to explain it to people. I don't think anyone really does know what you're thinking or what you're going through because they haven't been themselves. So when I do talk about ADHD through either LinkedIn or to other people that have got it, the people do understand. Obviously, like yourself, you understand it and like you can resonate with it because you're going through the same thought process or same like ways of doing things.
I think I've heard it referred to as ADHD shorthand. Of
Right.
like you kind of have that thing of like someone interrupted me and I got so angry and I had an emotionally dysregulated. And you're talking to someone else with ADHD and they just go, yeah, I do that, or I can relate to that, or I know what that is. And like you talk to neurotypicals or allistics, as I think some people refer to them now, of that thing of going, well, why? I'm just asking you a question. It's like, yeah, but no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I think like people try and understand it, but you can't understand it unless you've got it. But yeah, it's just working with it. It's working your ADHD and working with it and working out what's right. And it's kind of, I always think it's like, I did post the other week about it with Spawn next to me. You may have seen that, but I see it as like Resident Evil as the T virus, where it's a bond. You have to bond with the T virus.
Love
and
that.
You're this super person that can do loads of different things.
Yeah, I saw a Miles Morales meme not too long ago, across the Spider-Verse, and it's like he's amazing. He's got superpowers. He can focus whenever he wants. It's like, yeah, but I can't control what I focus on. It's like, you can't control it. So that's you. In terms of diagnosis, kind of, I assume you've got a formal diagnosis if you're medicated as well. How was that for you?
I was diagnosed 4.5 years ago. Back then I was very lucky because I was seen by the sort of ADHD specialist within 10 days.
Wow.
There wasn't no wait time. That's obviously 4.5 years ago. And yeah, it's a kind of process where like you're doing these tick boxes like 1 to 10, like concentration, always talkative, easy distractive, fidgeting, and I hit all 10. I put literally all 10s. And then when I got to the sort of ADHD specialist, it's quite dark, like not in a bad way, but they sort of go through like your childhood and how you were acting at school, what was your school reports like, and how you are with other people, tendencies, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it was within sort of 45 minutes.
10 things we hate about ADHD. How's your list? What's number 10?
Probably impulsive buying.
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably one of them, because once I get in my head with something, it's all, I've got tattoos of me of like Grogu. When I had a phase of Star Wars, Mandalorian, ended up like, that was like Grogu every day, and I ended up getting a tattoo of Grogu on which is on here, and then that phase went in 2 weeks, and then I'm on something else now. It's on Funko Pops, and then it's like obsessive buying. I've done it before with camera equipment, spending two sort of £2,000 on a camera equipment, and then that phase went within 3 weeks. So that's one of the things that I hate, sort of dislike, shall I say, about ADHD, is impulsiveness and not thinking about what I'm doing until really after, like a couple of days or so of what, like put myself in debt to get, because my brain's telling me you need to get it.
Yeah. it's that ADHD tax of that thing of before you even consciously gone, what am I going to do with this long term? Like, oh, it's already gone. I've already bought it, and I'm never going to coordinate myself to return something after I've bought it.
No, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Oh, I know. I'm sure as well there's something about sleeve tattoos and ADHD of a certain age.
No, yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's one of them things, isn't it? It's tattoos, and then so.
No, I totally get that. If I go for the one next, is that all right?
Yeah, go on. Fire away.
I hate forgetting. I hate the random forgetting of, like, where did I put that down? Where is this thing? I'm trying to make a cup of coffee, and I made a cup of coffee. I know I made a cup of coffee. It's not on my desk. It's not in the kitchen. Where is my cup of coffee? And I go find it, and it's on the bathroom windowsill. Oh, didn't even go to the bathroom. Don't understand. And that thing of, like, you get told that you say things or that you've agreed to something, and you go, I've got no memory of this whatsoever. And you walk around going, like, am I being gaslit? Like, did this really happen? And then when you do remember something correctly, you go, well, I've got a terrible memory. I must have been misremembering this. And then evidence comes out. So we were talking today with my partner, ex-vendor, and it was a cover for our something in the garden, parasol. That's the word. And I was like, I'm pretty sure we got that off Amazon. Pretty sure Mr. Bezos took our money for that. She's like, no, we got it from the garden centre. We got it. I was like, that's not what's in my head, but I've got ADHD. I will accept your word as a neurotypical that you know what you're talking about. Half an hour later, she's on Amazon, like, no, I did buy it on Amazon. I knew it. That one time. That one time out of 10. So you can't trust yourself. I think that's what I hate about forgetfulness with ADHD.
Yeah, it's one of them things where I've probably lost 6 bank cards in 1 month before.
Oh, no, it's... Yeah. Bank cards, headphones, keys. I once moved out.
Glasses.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't need glasses. I would never have them. Hats is a big thing for me. So, hats. I have a lot of hats, and, well, I have bought a lot of hats. I don't have a lot of hats. So you can do the maths on that. I'm sure I'm funding a hat economy somewhere.
Oh, yeah, it's just so... It's ridiculous. That's one of the worst things. Is like, and passwords as well. Like, remembering passwords to log in is a killer.
Yeah. Password managers, when they came out a few years ago, I was like, suggest a strong one. That's fine. Go for it. You look after all my data now.
You just do what you want to do. That's it. It's fine.
Yeah, I will outsource as much as possible with the functioning.
Love it.
Good stuff. So that was 10. That was 9. Number 8.
It's a good question. Probably like going at things 200%. I recently put a post up today, which about drink and ADHD. I've chosen not to drink anymore just because I just can't. Never knowing my limits. So I did actually put a post up today with me about 11 years ago where it's 5:30 in the morning. You may have seen it today. Absolutely KO'd on the bus stop. Someone took a photo of me, a randomer, and it went viral for the wrong reasons. And just after that, just over the years, see, before I had the ADHD, just didn't know my limits. Like, it wasn't like just, some people can have a drink and just be like, okay, that's one drink, that's fine, I can now go home. I don't actually like drink.
Yeah.
But I'll drink to get to that level. Yeah. And I never know my limit, and I will go above that. If someone might be drinking one drink, I'll be on my 4th. And there's no sort of boundaries with the ADHD. It's just, and this is what made sense once I was diagnosed for the behaviour that I was before, because I never knew what would happen to stop.
Yeah. It might be out of line, so you can tell me. Was it like addictive, or was it just not knowing the limits?
I was having a good time. I think it's like with anything, like your dopamine's going, and you're like,
Oh yeah.
you're partying, and like you're out, and you're having a good time, like into my dancing, and like I was just like boom, boom, and you don't know what the limit is because you're having a good time, but yeah, it's you soon realise like people just invite you out because you're the person that makes everyone laugh, and they're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you. And that came quite apparent of me being me, that really I was the one that was making a fool of myself. And that's not who I am. I don't need a drink to be myself. I don't need a drink to have confidence. But before a year ago, or see in my earlier years, I'm 35 now, that's what it did.
Yeah.
Sometimes nerves, confidence, like wanting to fit in with everyone. So I decided just now, since diagnosis, just be myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's so much in there. There's so much in there. I think the first thing that popped in my head was something I read not too long ago, which is kids with ADHD, and I assume this extends to adults, are much more prevalent to have one-way friendships, where essentially they're giving more than they get back. So they have much more output in their social life, and they're not necessarily considered a friend in return, which is heartbreaking.
And I can relate to that. I think like with ADHD, as you probably know, like you're really sensitive, like over gestures, like you're always there for people, and when someone's not there for you, that's like a dagger going in the back of you, because you're like, and that then causes an ADHD storm. Why they're doing that to me, all the things that I've done for them, and it's sad. It's a sad journey.
No, it's really, really fucking hard.
It is.
It's that thing of understanding it, but also like I don't want to accept it, if that makes sense. I don't want that to be true about the world. I think that's why podcasts and connection and community are even more important for the ADHD community as well, because we aren't the majority. We aren't going to be like everyone else ever, and we shouldn't have to be like everyone else.
Need to be ourselves.
Yeah. I did have 2 other points. I know that because I counted them. I've forgotten them both. So we're going good. We're going good. Oh, right. I'll go next. So what are we on? 10, 9, 8, 7. 7. Time blindness. Now, not now. Is this something that you have?
What? Stuff that I feel like that needs to be done now, and then it really doesn't need to be done now, but I feel like my brain tells me to do it now.
Yeah, it's that thing of like there's 2 times when you can do something. You can either do it right now, or it will never get done until someone says about it again, and you go, "Oh, I'll do it now." And it's that thing of we, as ADHDers, a lot of us anyway, struggle with the concept of time, and struggle with working on time, of saying, is something a 5-minute job? Is it a 2.5-hour job? Is it, I'm just about to head out the door, but I'll just do the washing up, I'll just feed the cats, and I'll just put the Hoover around, and I need to go in 5 minutes. Yeah, I can do all of that in 5 minutes. Totally fine. Bam. And surprisingly, you can't do all of that. So you either end up late, or the way that I go is you end up incredibly early for everything because you're worried so much about being late.
I always find it with me, like, if someone sets like a deadline, someone says like, can you get that done by 5 p.m, then my brain shifts onto that, and I'll be doing that by 5 p.m.
Yeah, exactly, because you need to do it. And
do you find that? Do you find that with?
if someone asks me to do something, it is immediately at the top of my priority list. And I can't do something else because they've asked me to do that thing. And if I've had 5 people ask me for 5 things in 10 minutes, I'm trying to do all 5 at the same time, and none of them are getting worked on, really. It's that thing of saying, like, how do I step out of that? And that self-reporting bit is so hard of saying, I don't know what I'm doing.
It's prioritizing it as well. Like when I like 2 or 3 or 4 tasks on at the same time, and it's like a massive project, I sometimes just sort of stare at the screen and think, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah. I've got a tool for you, though. ADHD hack. My friend, I don't have permission to share his name, but I'll put it in post if he gives permission. Task Goblin. It's an AI tool online. You can type in the task and it will automatically generate a to-do list for you of all the sub-steps of that task. Good. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's that thing.
And you've been using it?
I've been using it, and I'm going like, oh, I need to do this. And it goes, here you go. Because it's not that thing with ADHD of you just do the thing. It's that thing of, I need to do 20 things to do the thing. So what are the 20 things? Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, Task Goblin massively supported.
Task Goblin. Just remind me at the end of the session, because I might forget.
That would be fine when you watch this back.
I don't think you can forget that anyway, to be fair. Task Goblin.
Oh, I tell you what, I have forgotten. What number we're at?
We're on 6.
We're on 6. Did we just do 6?
Yeah. We've done. We're on 7 now. No, we're on 6. We just did 7.
We just did. So it's back to you, number 6.
Yeah, this is good. I think definitely not as much anymore with the tablets, but talking out of turn. Sometimes with if people are talking to me, like I'll come up with witty answers or witty comments that might not offend people, but might be pushing the boundaries with that, with what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that has stopped since being on the medication, because I can feel myself going, I don't know, you can say something like, I don't know, let's try and think, like something funny, like trying to be funny.
Yeah.
In a nice way.
Yeah.
To want you to think I'm funny or that liking. But I noticed with the medication, that has stopped. I can still feel the thought in my head, but I can stop myself from talking or saying it out loud, if that makes sense.
And is that because you know you won't forget the point and you can think about it with medication?
Yes, it definitely allows me to articulate myself better.
Yeah.
And instead of me talking before, if you said something to me, instead of me just acting out on emotions or acting out straight away, it allows me to process the information and then articulate myself better, coming back on a better conversation. Even though I might be thinking it, my brain thinks before my mouth.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ADHDers out there who have got into trouble when they were younger, I think, with their mouth engaging before their brain does.
Yes.
I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, raising hand.
Yeah, I think my mouth has gotten myself into so much trouble. In fact, the example I just thought of, I'm not going to say on here because I'd have to take it out afterwards. Number five. We are cracking through these. I thought that we would be spending ages just chatting about them all, but it's brilliant. Number 5.
Smashing it. This is
my one.
Go on, this is yours.
Sleep. Do you sleep well on ADHD?
Only when I've exercised. If not, sometimes the tablets can keep me up at night. But to stop that, exercise is the key thing for me, because once I've exercised or play badminton,
Mm.
I'm actually tired. My brain has exercised, but if not, then my brain is like, it's like counting sheep with different coloured sheep,
Yeah.
like rainbow sheep, and then them sheep turn into baby lambs, and then them lambs turn into cows. It's how your brain works.
Yeah.
What
I
about
think
yourself? Do you find sleeping quite difficult?
it varies. It's related to stress. It's that thing of like, stress levels are high, brain starts worrying. If I can get exercise, it definitely helps. But I think there is that thing of stress and sleep, anxiety, all of that kind of ties together, and then you go, okay, here's this issue that I need to resolve. Let's just keep churning on it and keep churning on it and keep churning on it. And maybe you could say this, or you could do this, or you could do this. And I'm kind of lying there at night sometimes going, even if you think of the right problem or the right solution, you're not going to remember it in the morning. Why are you still thinking about it? And I have this kind of switching between different things to try to get to sleep, because sometimes meditation works for me, and sometimes it's absolutely the worst thing I can possibly do. Sometimes reading works for me, and that's absolutely the worst thing I can do because I can get too much into it, the hyperlexia side of that. Or sometimes it's audiobooks. And
I love audiobooks,
yeah. It's that thing of I don't know which is the right key at the right time, because it'll change over time. And at the moment, I'm in a reading jag. So reading gets me to sleep. At some point, that will stop, and I'll need to go back to meditation or back to audiobook. I don't know when that will be, and I'll know that after I've had about 4 hours sleep. So,
but
yeah, so sleep, number 5. Ugh, disgusting. And also, on sleep, getting up, how do you find the mornings?
I'm quite chirpy in the morning. I'm very chirpy in the morning. I'm like a rabbit. Like a Duracell bunny.
Okay.
I do relax, and I'm like in bed, but sometimes I have to trick myself and say like, you're going to get up on 3, 2, 1, but then actually get up after 3, 2.
Okay.
That's what I find. But I love it. I like getting up in the morning with my fiance and getting my routine of iced caramel latte. That's when sort of shit hits the fan, when I know that I haven't got any iced caramel latte, because it's that set routine. Like we all love routines, and like you're sitting at your desk at this time. Like anything that disrupts that routine can be a real big can be detrimental to you.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, I think I know what works for me with getting up, and I never do it. I think the only thing that I do consistently is my sunrise alarm clock. And that is brilliant especially as it's starting to get darker in the mornings and evenings now. But what I should do is I shouldn't have my phone anywhere near me. I should have music on, and I should probably have a coffee before I get out of bed. Like, if I can do those 3 things, I'll be laughing.
Yeah.
I rarely get more than one of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So, it's hard if you don't get it. It's what your brain tells you that you want to be doing.
Yeah. It's that thing of I'm going to make the commitment now that I will try a bit harder. I will set myself up for success. I'll stick my phone on the other side of the room instead, because I don't need it.
Maybe. Yeah, that's the first thing I pick up. Is the phone. LinkedIn straight away. Boom.
Yeah, get that dopamine fix before you go get your coffee.
I feel like, do you know what? It's because it's a set routine. I know all the people that are going to be up at that time. I know every person that's going to be posting that morning. So I want to show up for them.
Yeah.
To comment on their post and help them, like, just because I just feel like if I miss a day, like my LinkedIn stuff is going to go. Like it's just stupid. It's brain work.
Illogical, but it's emotional, right? It's that thing of like it can be true emotional, and like you can be
connection.
There. Yeah, because it's that thing of probably caring, which comes up a lot in ADHD.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
So, on to number 4.
I'm definitely thinking of money.
Money. ADHD tax.
I am horrendous with money, as in no sense of like saving. My target was to save money this year, and I haven't saved anything. I've got no boundaries. Not because I overspend, but I'd sometimes just like probably spend more than I should, like on like going out for meals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I probably can't be bothered to cook. I can't cook anyway, but it's sort of not giving a shit really of what, like that extra like 50 quid for a meal could be like the shopping for the last week, for example.
Yeah.
But I'm spending it and then thinking about the sort of consequences that week.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Because in the moment, 50 quid for a meal out is worth it. It's totally worth it.
Yeah, it is definitely. Especially with prices going up.
Yeah, that thing of like, yeah, totally. I don't have to do washing up, don't have to do anything. Like, it's there, don't have to think about it. I can just go, that thing, give it to me now. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's, money is hard. And new hobbies with money.
Oh, new hobbies.
New hobbies, love a new
That's
hobby.
game over. That's game over. Always have to get all the best gear and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we're not going to do things half-assed. We're going to go and do it properly right from the get-go.
Get the top equipment, top camera, and then think we're an expert because we've hyper-focused till pretty much 10 hours on it, and then suddenly we're telling everyone about it the next day.
Yeah. Want to start a podcast? Okay, cool. 2 weeks' time, it's going to go live. Said whoever. This guy.
I love it. You get into it. I love doing podcasts and stuff, but you do really get into it.
Yeah. I think it's that thing of even the people that have decided not to come on, it's been worth the conversations kind of beforehand as well. It's all community.
It's nice to get people on and meet like good people like yourself and speak to nice people. I think that's what the whole point of it is. It's just meeting new people.
Yeah. I think it really touched me just before I came on today. I saw a message from someone, and they were saying it's really heartening to see other people's struggles as well. I feel less alone by seeing someone else going through the same stuff that I go through, and I can see myself in them, and I feel a little bit less alone. And it's like, that's what I want. That's what the point of this is. Like, if I can have one person per podcast just feel that way of feeling just a little bit less alone, I'll do this forever.
Yeah, it's resonating stuff that you can relate to, and especially like when you see posts about ADHD and stuff, you're like, that's God, that sounds like me. God, that sounds like me.
Yeah. I think in the nicest possible way or the worst possible way, TikTok has been amazing for ADHDers. I think it's that thing of like, it is helping us discover things because we're on the content, and the algorithm goes, oh, if you like all of this stuff, oh, look at ADHD. On the negative side of it, it's just absolutely dopamine. You're never getting off that platform.
No, that's why I actually met my fiance on there over a year and a half ago. Yeah, I've posted not loads of content. I think it's like nearly 100,000 followers, and then got rid of the app because I met her. Wow. And then now I just have no social media. The only social media I class it as work really, but it's LinkedIn, and that's it.
Yeah, it's that thing of employment media.
Yeah, is LinkedIn social media? I'm sure, to be fair, it probably is.
And it's the same kind of stuff, isn't it? It's just a slightly different focus. And I think
it's professional social media.
I've seen your posts; they're not professional. No,
they're professional, but not. They're good, but they're not. They're like insights and advice and stuff. I think, I like to be different. I just like to. Do you know what it is? It's just be myself. That's the best thing.
Yeah, I think that's what comes across in your LinkedIn. Is that it's professional, but it's not stuffy. Like, like you're saying what you think. I think there's that thing of like, unprofessionalness. Well, let's say professionalist stuff. I think there is that thing of you follow the rules. And so when I see your social, I'm like, oh, you're challenging that. You're talking about this. We don't talk about this. I was like, come on. And he's like, no, we're going to do this stuff. Like, brilliant. I'm here for this.
I'm here for it. Love it.
So number 3. I know what number 3 is. Procrastination. Do you ever procrastinate?
Yes.
Once, twice?
All the time. I think I was going to come to this, which I'll come to in the second one, is like overthinking stuff. Like it could be in a conversation that, let's say, for example, Chris, that you said to me, all right, mate, how you doing? Like, I hope you're okay. And then the next day, nothing's changed from the second day, but you went, all right, Tom, you okay? Like, but the day before you were saying, all right, mate, how you doing? So then automatically in my head, I'm thinking that I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
And then in my head, I'm going, why would I have done something wrong? Then I'm playing it out in my head. What is there something that I've said? Is it? And then I'm going back to you going, have I done something wrong? Is it? Are you upset with me? And then suddenly you end up in a fucking spiral within your own head, trying to play out all these different sort of things that you potentially have done when you haven't.
Yeah. I would say, like, even like if you say to someone, have I done something wrong? You're kind of breaking that cycle. But it's that thing of like, if you don't, I have it. I think it's been better since the diagnosis of going, I feel like I've let you down. I feel like I've upset you. I feel like something's off. And 9 times out of 10, oh no, totally fine. It's been brilliant job, Chris. Absolutely smashed it out of the park. Really loved it. I'm like, oh, really? Like, yes. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, oh, okay. And like, it's a bit overwhelming almost to kind of challenge it. But yeah, if you don't, if you go, oh, they didn't say hello to me. They didn't ask how I was.
You do think about it.
Yeah.
You do think about it.
No, it's really hard. Really hard. So what do we do about it? What's your top tip?
Our top tip for not thinking is that address it. Address the situation. Like, I think a lot of things I've done before is, do you know what it's about educating people. Okay, it's about educating people and saying, look, if you're looking at my LinkedIn page and you're my manager, or if you're looking at my LinkedIn page, for example, like when it's only the people that I work with. If you're looking at my LinkedIn page, just tell me why you're looking at it. Yeah. Because if it's someone that's higher than me, I think automatically I've posted something that's they're not happy with. Yeah. Then you think, am I going to be sacked? Am I going to be doing this? So what it is kind of like, just tell me, oh, I looked at your page because I saw you did a really good post about X. And I just wanted to read it because it was really good. And then automatically my brain is like, okay, just want to check it. Everything's fine. Because we are warriors as ADHDers. Like, we do worry about the worst things that could potentially happen. Like, yeah, that's probably another point that I'll come to in a minute.
Yeah. That thing of, we never think the best, do we?
No, always the worst.
So, top tip. Yeah. Number 2 then. We're nearly done 10.
I'd say I'd sort of go into this is being sensitive, which is a play on from what I just probably mentioned, but just anything that happens, like if anything goes wrong, you think the whole world's against you, like you feel sorry for yourself. If someone's said something wrong, you end up being in an ADHD storm where like the world's ended. Yeah, it could be anything from losing in your hobby like sport, or for example like mine's badminton, and if I lose, I call myself every name under the sun. I'm not playing this game anymore. It's not worth it. I just literally go from one extreme to the other. It's like sometimes, like, a lot of people get ADHD and bipolar diagnosed the wrong way.
Yeah.
And it's 1 minute you can be this person, and the next one you just break like that. But the tablets have that. But definitely sensitive. It's very sensitive to people's language or communication with me.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because that's kind of really hit me, because speaking to my partner at the weekend, she's gotten into the habit of saying you're catastrophizing, and every 3 or 4 times a week you're catastrophizing, and I've had to say, actually, that's not helpful. I know it's really annoying that I definitely do catastrophize, but can we not use that word anymore? And I'm going to ask you for a top tip, because I need this tip, whatever you're saying, because other than medication, like that thing of that spiral, how do you get out of it?
It's a really good question. I think you have to just work out, and you have to understand yourself that if you're doing it, because if you are doing it, you need to work out why you're doing it, and then pretty much nip it in the bud, or talk to someone about it, because that's probably the best thing. And I think if you have got an ADHD, a friend or someone that's neurodistinct, then it's worth having that sort of talk, because as soon as you talk about it and you release it, it is, regardless, if you say to your partner, ramble at you for 5-10 minutes, get it off your chest, or exercise is probably the other thing for me. Makes you feel a lot better.
I think there's, in my head, that's that thing of almost stepping away, of going, I'm having this reaction, I've written an angry email, I'm not gonna immediately send it, I'm gonna save it, I'm gonna go for a walk.
That's the best thing to do, to take it 5 minutes.
Or even sleep on it if you can.
God, I wouldn't sleep on it. I'll be worried all night with it. I'll be up all night thinking about it all.
And again, you're kind of highlighting your emotional maturity over me, because I definitely have done that in the past.
Yes, have I. Just fucking sleeping on it. It's the first thing you think of when you go to wake up.
You spend all night thinking of it. And then number one, I think number one is, for me, is the hypocrisy of ADHDers. We need people to constantly be in touch with us, and we need people to reassure us, and we need people to kind of pay attention. And we're really bad at those things ourselves, and we don't do it for other people. It's that thing of...
We're doing it for other people, reassuring them they're doing a good job, being really nice. But then when it comes to us, I'm so bad at it. I need reassurance, and I'm doing a good job. I always go to, am I doing a good job? Is this good, or is this... God, it's that reassurance of you doing well, because that just sparks you on to do more. And I'm doing a good job, or keep up you're doing. But you do need that consistent feedback. I think personally, that's mine. Probably typical ADHD. I need that reassurance. Is everything okay? Is everything all right?
If you don't tell me everything's all right, I'm going to assume it's really bad, really, really bad. And the fact that you're not telling me that it's not even okay, or I've not spoken in a week, I might as well be dead to you, right?
God, it's horrible. It's sad.
Oh, so that's it. That's 10 down to 1. How you feeling?
That was the one. I'm feeling good. I'm hungry. Looking forward to having some food after this, because I've literally just gone from induction on to here. But I really appreciate you having me, and it's really nice to talk to someone that's really nice and wants to do the right things and raise that awareness. So I appreciate that.
Cool. Is there anything that you want to recommend or sell or anything like that?
Nothing that I recommend. I think probably one thing I would recommend would be is make sure you friend loads of other neuro ADHDers, other neurodistinct people. Find out about yourself, work out on what triggers you, work out what things that you enjoy being creative. If it's being creative, I've noticed that a lot of people a lot of people that have got ADHD are very creative people. So always try and hone in on the stuff that you enjoy, and never be afraid to sort of talk about your ADHD with other people, because as soon as you start talking about it, the reason why I talk about it, it actually helps me as a person, but also other people as well. And when you can talk about your own ADHD and your feelings and emotions and stuff like that, that's when you're on that journey of really understanding yourself.
Yeah. 100% support everything that you just said. We'll add one thing in of why it's helpful, because it's verbal processing. It's that thing of getting it out and talking it through is how we process stuff as well. And that's, absolutely the best thing. Wonderful. I'm not going to keep you any longer, Thomas. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been such a good show. And that is it for today's episode of This is ADHD, 10 Things I Hate About ADHD. I just want to thank Thomas for joining me and sharing their personal experiences and insights. It wasn't easy, and it's really brave. It's funny, as I'm listening back to this episode post-recording, I'm really struck by how similar and yet how different Thomas and mine experiences have been with ADHD. The creativity thing. Personally, I don't think people with ADHD have more creativity. What I do think we have is less fear about trying new things, and that's maybe by not being bound by quite so many societal norms. We can say the idea that comes first to mind before we talk ourselves out of it. That's only my opinion, though, and maybe to you that sounds like creativity. I'd be really interested to kind of hear what you think as well, if you've got this far in the episode, of course. If you found yourself nodding along with Thomas today, don't hesitate to contact them on social media. As he said in the episode, he's only on LinkedIn these days, so you can find him, Thomas Woodhams. They're always open to messaging, chatting, and they're sharing lots of insights around recruitment and neurodivergence as well. Before I sign off properly, I do want to say thank you for all the support that has been given to me this month with the podcast going live. I've had so many people reach out to me, slide into my DMs, stop me in the office, chat away to me, and just go, actually, it's really interesting, or it's been enlightening, or maybe I need to go and have a look at getting diagnosed as well, which is amazing and has made this process all worthwhile. If you do want to get in touch as well, I would love to hear from you. You can follow the podcast itself on Instagram and Threads. It's called This is ADHD Podcast. That's going to be mostly sharing updates, polls, and content from other ADHD creators. It's also an opportunity to kind of connect with other people that are listening. You can also find me personally as the Coaching Blacksmith, also on Threads and Instagram, also on LinkedIn as well. So get in touch if you've got any ideas for future episodes or guests. It's wonderful to hear from people that are listening and to know that this is actually going out somewhere other than my office. As ever, thank you for joining me today. I hope this episode format was fun. It was definitely different to record. Next time, it's going to be the last episode of ADHD, or This is ADHD, for ADHD Awareness Month 2023. After this month we're going to look at it, and we're going to be doing a limited series, and we're going to record and release on a less frequent basis, probably every fortnight instead of weekly. And next week I'll be joined by the wonderful Jen Kerr, and we're going to be talking about her journey of getting a diagnosis in the 90s as a child for ADHD, and then having it taken away when she was 16, as back then adults don't have ADHD. So yeah, it's a good listen, a good episode, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing this one with you.